Hello, very good morning to one and all who's joining us today at Royal Voluntary Service at the Virtual Village Hall, live cooking today. Today, I welcome you to Priya's kitchen, which is my kitchen. I am Priya Sundar. I love cooking. I cook a lot and at home, and my origin is I'm from India, and so I tend to do a lot of Indian cooking. And today is the perfect day for vegetable pakoras. You know why? Because in Midlands it did snow in the morning, and it is very chilly, and veg pakoras is the best thing to eat in this sort of weather. I mean, in India, if it is chilly evenings, always my dad or my dad-in-law would always ask for it is, can you please make pakoras? And it is a very quick dish to put together as well. It is really easy. The only hard bit is frying in oil. If you're not used to frying in oil, you have to take care. But frying in oil is easy if you did it, carefully. The other method of doing it is air fryer as well. To be very honest, I haven't used air fryer, but I'm going to try today after I cook for you with the oil, and I will post some pictures of it. Yeah. Are you ready to crack on? Would you want to know what I'm going to cook? Veg pakoras it is. So let's crack on. We need a few ingredients first. I'll let you I'll explain when I am, adding all the ingredients together. So I am doing veg pakoras today, so vegetable pakoras. But in India, basically, we need only onions, green chilies, and the Bengal gram flour, or chickpea flour, whatever you want, you can call it as. So we cook only with that, but I thought I'll make it a little bit healthy. And veg pakoras is as popular as it is in England. Most of you know that veg pakoras or bhajis, they call it onion bhajis. So first ingredient to go is chopped onions. I've chopped it. You don't chop it into small pieces. You need it in lengthwise. So I'm going to take all of it. I've taken two onions today, and I have spinach, which I'm going to add at the end, and I have carrot. Again, it's shredded, so I'll add a little bit because as you see, the quantity is going big. And once you mix it, I would recommend you fry it, and you can't keep it in the fridge and then take it out and fry again. Only because the ingredients what we're using, like carrots and onions or spinach, have water content in it. And if you let it sit for longer duration, water will ooze out, and then the mixture will become very watery. Then when you fry it in oil, it will sort of suck a lot of oil in it. So we don't store the batter. If you want to do veg pakoras, you mix it and do it immediately. So that's one really important point which you have to note. So I'm not going to add all the carrots because I'm the only one today at home, and my son loves it and my husband loves it. So I'm going to mix it later today because I've chopped everything. As I said, spinach, I'm going to wait for some time. But in this, we're going to add ginger garlic paste. Normally, you can add ginger sliced if you're very good in chopping it as very thin and fine pieces. You can add ginger. I'm not great at that, fine chopping. So I tend to use ginger garlic paste. And if you're feeding younger children, my son is 9 years old. He doesn't want that ginger, getting into his mouth. So I tend to put paste. So this is a store-bought ginger garlic paste. It's mixed together. So, and again, the quantity wise, it is your choice. If you like the flavor of ginger, you can add more. If you're not great fan of ginger, you can even skip it. It is not very important ingredient. And adding curry leaves. So this is, I think every Indian household will have this. This is dried curry leaves because Especially in the South Indian cooking, I am from South India. So we tend to use a lot of curry leaves. That gives a lot of crunch in any sort of food you prepare. So this is from my home in India. So we have curry leaf plant, and then my mom takes it out and dries it in the sun, and then she packs it for me. So this is really special. This is curry leaves. So what I tend to do when using the dried curry leaves, you have to sort of crush it. And interesting is I have even seen it here. You get dried curry leaves even in Tesco's. You'll see it in the spice section. So I'm adding a little bit of this. It will give a nice crunch. So I am doing this, the curry leaves. Okay. And again, I'm going to add turmeric. So you don't add too much. You just need 2 or 3 pinches of it. And I'm adding paprika to it. If you can have chili powder, you can add chili powder. We don't take too much chili in our family. And even because I feed little ones, so I tend to use paprika, which is less heat. So I am using paprika today. So this is the whole of it is like 2 teaspoons, but I'm just taking half of it. Again, this is depending on your, what flavor you want and how much spice you can take, you can add to it. And now we'll mix it a bit. And now we go to the really watery content. So I am adding cabbage. It's finely chopped. So a little bit of cabbage. As you can see, the quantity is going up as you add vegetables. And now spinach. So I'll add half of it. The only way to get this right is you have to dig in, with your hand, because we need all of it to really mix. So I'm going to use my hand. Before that, I'll add salt. So I'm using Himalayan pink salt. So we need, and I tend to put it in my hand because I know the quantity this way. So salt. Okay, now we are going to mix all of this. And when I'm mixing, I'm going to switch to oil on because we want it in a good, it should be in a, I'll tell you what correct consistency it should have been heated. It should not go overheat or really mild because that is very important. I'll show you how to check it. But I'm going to switch it on there. And I'll cook here later on because this is a bit noisy. So I'm using normal sunflower oil, which you get in Tesco's and Sainsbury's, which says crispy oil, isn't it, to fry. So I'm using that one today. So let's dig in then. So I've put all the ingredients here, all vegetables. If you want, you can add zucchini, and what else? Beetroot, if you like. You can add those 2 vegetables. It will add more flavor to it. But I have chosen carrots, spinach, cabbage. These are the 3 vegetables, and onions is a must. You have to add onions. That's the base of the pakora. So let's take it now. You need to really rub all the ingredients together, mix it nicely, and because we've added salt, the salt will mix with everything, and it will become a bit watery. So normally what I tend to do is when cooking pakoras, I mix this and leave it to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. So that way the water content will lose out, and then you don't need to really add much water to it at all. But today, because we're going to do it immediately, I might want to add a little bit of water. Let's see how the consistency is. If you have any questions about the ingredients, do comment on the comment sections and I will answer it. And I'm also going to try and post the picture of the air fryer pakoras as well for you to see how it is. And I will also comment on how it tasted, the air fryer one, later on. So this is really mixed well. So we're going to let it sit for a few minutes and then I'm going to just quickly wash. The oil is heating. Now what we can do is we're going to go and add the dry ingredients. So the dry ingredients, the very important one is what we call in English, we call it as Bengal gram flour or gram flour. But here it is popularly called as chickpea flour. So we're going to add that. We'll have to be careful with the quantity. We don't want it to be too much, but so we're going to add just a little bit at a time to see how much, all these ingredients take. There is no proper measurement like for this much vegetable, you add 1 cup of Bengal gram flour. As you cook, you will know probably you should add a little more. You can adjust accordingly. And green chilies, if you like green chilies, you can chop and add to it. It can be a bit spicy. I tend to avoid that. So if you can see that sogginess has gone now and it's all becoming nice and sticky. So this is the consistency we want really. So I am not going to add water right now. Let's see how much, if it sits for 5 minutes, what will happen? And then we can add water. So I've added chickpea flour. And this is again to add crisp. We are going to, in India we use rice flour for crispiness. Here you can also use, if you don't get rice flour, you can use corn flour. But I tend to use rice flour. So, but corn is equally good. Corn flour is equally good. It will give you that crispness. If you don't have rice flour or corn flour, you can use semolina if you have, just a little bit. So it won't be this much quantity. If you're using semolina, you can use just 1 spoon of it. Yeah. So this is rice flour. People tend to add soda, but I don't add anything because this itself it's simple and it just tastes dear. Can't beat this dish. We just love this in our household. Any day it's S for pakoras. And I tend to do just onion pakoras because that's more easier, quicker as well. You can get the food processor running with the onions. And then there you go. It'll be ready for veg pakoras. So the other ingredient you can add is to make it a little bit rich. If you do not have any nut allergy, then you can add cashew nuts to it. And I think I'm going to add cashew nuts to it. It will really taste good. So that's cashew nuts. And then you can call it as cashew veg pakoras. So the oil is warm now. So in a minute, we can start frying it. When it sits for 5 minutes, I'm just going to see if there's any questions in the comments. If you have asked, I can't see anything now because it says private chat. It'd be interesting to see what you think of this in the comments. You can let us know. And if you want us to cook anything, Indian, like curries or anything, please let us know in the comments so the next session we can plan for that as well. So this is nicely mixed now. Let me take a moment to see if there's any comments. Okay. Yeah, okay. Irene, hello. Ellen, okay, hello. There's no any questions there, so we're good to go. So let me switch on this. This is going to be a bit noisy. I'm so sorry. This is induction hob. I wanted to put it right in front of the computer so that I can cook really nicely. Because if I cook there, you can't see much, can you? So this is going to be a bit noisy. Please bear with that. Okay, so let's on. So because this is already hot, this is not going to take long time to cook. See, I said it is a bit noisy, isn't it? Okay. I'll try and speak louder so that you can hear over that noise what this is making. This is completely ready and I'm really happy with the consistency. I'm not going to add any flour or anything. Be careful because we don't want too much flour because that will become, it won't give that crispness. So we'll have to be cautious in that one. And the best way to do it is to do with hand, and I'm going to try and do it with the fork today. And also the other tip is you need I am using a base pan which is not very deep because you can see what's happening here. But generally, when you're frying in oil, I would recommend something which is even wider. Yeah, and you need the quantity of the oil should be more so that the pakoras really dip into it. We don't want half of it to stick outside while we're cooking. We want the pakoras to be cooking fully dipped in oil. So we'll have those are two things we'll have to bear in mind while cooking any deep fry, I think, because that's how it can give that sort of crispness. If it tends to stay outside the oil, it might not be that crispier on one side. So, okay, now as I said, there are two tips which is the trick to get a nice crispy pakoras. One is to add warm oil to it. So really hot oil, just 2 spoons of it, straight from the pan, and then mix it nicely. And the other tip is to check if the oil is ready. So, how do we do that? Let you know. I don't know how much you can see the oil. I think you can see. So, the correct consistency of the oil would be if you just dip a little bit of whatever batter you have into the oil. See, it just comes up. That's a correct consistency to fry anything. It's perfect now. The oil is warm. So we're going to just start putting in the oil. Be careful as you do so. So I'm using 2 forks to get sort of, this is like, it doesn't have a proper shape. You can do whatever you want. You can do big, small. I tend to sort of take a little bit and because I put full, the oil might come out a little bit, but this is induction, so that's okay. I'm going to switch off because it's really hot. And if you're cooking in the hot, it's a good idea to, reduce the power. There's a facility to reduce the power here as well. I'm going to do that so that it's cooked inside as well. We need it to be cooked inside as well. See, this is cooked outside, but I don't think we cooked inside because we need to let it sit for a little while in the oil for it to cook real well. I think this is a good one. You get that golden brown color. Oh my God, it smells so good. And you have to enjoy this with a cup of masala chai or a black tea or any tea, what you do. I'm going to have a sit down today after this, watching the snow because it's been snowing here. I think the best thing to do. So this is ready now. In a minute, I'll show you how it looks closer to the camera. It doesn't need a lot of cooking. It just takes few minutes because the ingredients are like that doesn't need a lot of cooking. So if you noticed, I'm not turning it a lot because it is all soaking in the oil. It is inside, so we don't need a lot of cooking on both the sides. This is in perfect shape. Perfect shape. Okay, exactly how you want the pakoras to be. Let me do some more. This time I'll do it slowly so that I'm increasing the temperature of the oil. So I'm taking, as you can see, just take a little bit. You want all the ingredients, then let it sit. See, the oil is not really ready this time, I would say. So this will take more oil. I've increased the temperature. So go. So easy, isn't it? Trust me. If you've really not made pakoras and if you made it today, you're going to remember me for your life. Veg pakoras and Priya. Yeah? So this is going to take a time now because I've reduced the temperature, the heating temperature. So the oil was not perfectly ready, and you can see it will drink a little bit of oil. This one. That's okay. So we'll wait for it to cook, and now I can set it up. So as you can see, this is crispy outside and soft inside. This is beautifully cooked and it smells so good. So we have this one. I'll show you closer. I'll show you closer to the camera in a minute. So this is taking a while. The temperature of the oil is really, really vital. So let us know in the comments where you're watching this from. And are you going to cook today? Do you have the ingredients? Please let us know whatever it is. I think the chickpea flour is, that is what gives the flavor. If you don't have chickpea flour, I don't think you can add self-rising or the flavor will be different. So that's the very important ingredient. The rest of it you can alter. As I said, you can add any vegetable. You can add corn flour instead of rice flour. If you're adding watery vegetables, be careful about the quantity you're adding. That's the only thing. I think this is ready now. So let's take this out as well. So I tend to actually put some kitchen towel and then take it out so that whatever little oil it has on coated, it will come out. It will be easy to serve. It will not be soggy or oily then. So we're done. So I'm going to let this sit for some more time because I think it needs some more cooking. So. The first set of cooking was easy because the oil was right here. This time, this has gone a little bit. Oops. Let's switch it off now and make some fresh pakoras later. I'm going to switch off the hot. I'm going to show you how, so you can see how crispy it is. And this is, I have removed this is a little bit, you can see the shape as well. So here is veg pakoras for you. I hope you can cook it at home. I didn't think it will be this quick. I thought it's going to take a long time because the oil was hot and everything. I think we're done with the cooking. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I will answer it in the comment sections. Thank you so much once again for joining. Please do try veg pakoras and let me know how it tasted. Thank you once again. Namaste to one and all.